Hi all, I am Malika, and today we are having our collective call to discuss the latest trends in the crypto space and how they impact the expertise of our wonderful guests. The founder and CEO of Blockchain Network Philippines, Kenneth James Beret, a Web3 marketing expert, Andy Dimitriou, and the CEO at Rebel iLab and startup advisor Hassam Wakeb. Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and let's get started. I was thinking that we can start maybe with Andy. Hi, Andy. How is it going?
Very good, very good. Thanks. Thank you so much for having me today. It's nice to be in the call. It's nice to meet with other fellow crypto Web3 people. Nice to share ideas, and I'm very happy to be here today and to meet with such great minds.
Yeah, happy to have you today. What important trends are you observing today on the market, and how does it impact you personally?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things to unpack, and I hope we can go quite deep today. And I'm very excited to hear what Ken and Hassam have to say about it as well. I think that we have seen a recent uprise. We have seen definitely a Bitcoin price increases, which obviously reverberates to the other altcoins in the space, and we're seeing a bit of an upturn in the last 7 days. This has happened before, but I'd like to go more deeper into other aspects, not just the prices. I'd like to kind of think more about the sociology and the psychology and the philosophy of people approaching the Web3 space and approaching the crypto space now. We're definitely seeing it more just adopting and just people being very in tune with themselves now. It's very much accepted. Young people are getting older. They're going into professional roles. So we're definitely seeing a lot of people just accepting it as a reality. It's not something in a fantasy world. It's not a crazy concept, decentralized finance, so to speak. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing these days.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, totally agree. Hi, Sam. Your microphone is not muted. Do you want to add anything? What do you think?
Absolutely. I totally agree with Andy. There is so much happening in the past, maybe I would say 12 to 16 months. The impact, some of the impact is good. I look at it from a positive perspective and how that impact on the whole Web3 economy, not only from a crypto perspective, but also on the society, on the adoption from larger corporation or government, and the adoption from startups and the new joiner. But there were some challenges as well. But I think that challenges, it's good that the challenge is happening, because I think the market reached the point where we needed some cleanup of what has been going on since 2018, 19, 20, 21. We needed this cleanup. I think from the startups and the new ideas came. Some of them were good, some of them were really fluffy, good on paper, but not executable, or from an execution perspective, it was really poor. And I think from an VC perspective as well, from the fund and the investment, we needed the investors to really increase their maturity on the way how they evaluate project coming into the Web3 and the crypto, or adopting the decentralized ledger technology. But that also gave us space this 12 months or 16 months from summer 2022 till now, for maybe regulators and compliance people who have been starting talking about, okay, we want to learn more about this. And the industry, people like Andy and Ken and all of us, were quite advanced where the government, where the regulators are. And I think they're trying to cope, they're trying to learn, they're trying to build this maturity. So I think there's so much happening. It was a lot happening in the space, a lot we learn from, a lot we can take in our pocket, so we can put it into 2024 and build our maturity and build this synergy between the whole ecosystem. When I see all the ecosystem, expertise, marketeers, builders, even regulators, and investors. It has been quite a journey, but and it's still more to learn and still more to discover and explore.
Yeah, totally. Ken?
For me, yeah, I'm so excited, but there is kind of a little bit caution for that, because in the past few months, it's like we doubled the price already, from those altcoins, and also for some cryptocurrencies. I saw that there is a lots of challenges when it comes in raising funds right now, and even VCs, are scared to invest for those projects, even if they knew already, So it's really hard right now to invest something, because they are most of the venture capitals, angel investors are playing safe. Because yeah, I think that's a good right now, and I'm agree with Andy and Hassam that it's this will be a huge cleanup for those frauds and scammers, most especially from 2016, 18, yeah, ICO era, plagiarism era, and those some history that we've been experienced during a roller coaster ride from Web3 space. So I'm so excited with the combination right now with some AI stuff, some RWA, some layer 01 that is evolving, not just for comparing each other, but having mass adoption. And for me, I think it's really good that we also protect those investors that who invest, because it's not just about investing, but also you give the trust about you give the trust everything to yourself, but also giving a trust with your money, and and you believe to those team that who build this kind of tech in the Web2 space.
Totally. Guys, if you have to add anything, just go ahead. And also, what do you think, guys? What should projects do to not be cleaned up now? What strategy should they choose, and how should they act?
There is a lot they can do, a lot we can bring from the lesson learner. I mean, I agree with Ken regarding the investment component, and which is one of the biggest challenges right now. Of course, because of the drainage that's happening within the investment space, because of a lot of the zombie project failed miserably, or because of the price of the token that dropped miserably, which has made the investors now, whenever they hear the word crypto or Web3, they are afraid. Even I'm talking about my region here in the Middle East, we have even some of the investors, most of the investors really between UAE and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, their mandate, they don't want to see in the pitch deck anything related to Web3 or crypto. So it's they're that blunt. I think now it's time for the mature people to get into the space. I think we have seen a lot of boys, a lot of kids trying to play with this stuff. I think it's time for experienced people to get involved. I think we need to have this merge of generation from people who are senior, people who are qualified, understand the business. So it's not only about Web3, it's not only about crypto, it's not about cartoons, NFT. We need people who understand business. People understand how building an ecosystem, building partnership, building a business model, a revenue model, revenue stream. We need qualified people, expertise, each in their vertical domain. We need to look into the profile, please, looking into the profile of the founders and the CEOs. VCs cannot just go and put money in people who tell a good story, because there are a lot of people who know how to tell a good story, right? On paper, the project looks good, but it's not executable, or the execution is poor. Look into that guy who come and pitch you, into his profile, into his achievement, into his last 10 years of experience. What did he achieve in his career to come and give him $1 million or a 5 or 10? So, and as Ken said, it's not only the money of the investors, it's the money of the people as well. Because if you are building something that rely on retail investor or people like you and me who invest in this, and then all of that is just vanished, those are the ones we need to take care of and we need to worry about. So I think investor, and I think we can see the venture building concept is getting more viral now. And I think that yes, we're gonna allocate this money, we're gonna give you this money, but let's build with you, let's structure the company with you, let's put the right CEO, the right CTO, the right CPO. Let's look into your utility and your business model, how you're gonna make revenue. Challenge them, If I'm put 1 million, how I'm gonna break even in 2 or 3? Give me different revenue stream. Challenge these numbers. Look into the product. You cannot just go to the market with any mediocre product. The product has to be really, really up to the notch. Otherwise, wait and hold it and keep building. So I think there are a lot that we learned in especially from 2022 and 2023. And I'm sure Ken and Andy can contribute to that. But yeah, so much to learn from.
Totally. Andy, do you want to contribute?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so the question was revolving around sort of, you said on how to not fall behind, right? Like how to kind of in this chaos. Obviously, we've got so many different types of projects. I think there's a kind of a handful of points. I don't want to get too boring, but I kind of want to just address kind of a few points that I kind of find it. Firstly, I like to kind of just address that the market itself, the blockchain space, is a very market-driven industry. Is that it very much kind of mimics the global markets, and it does tend to follow sort of universal trends now. Is that we're following Bitcoin just like it kind of matches with the cheat sheet, the Wall Street cheat sheet for how the market kind of goes ups and downs, and we have our recessions and we have our uprising and bull runs. So I think bearing that in mind as well, and that we are, I mean, here in the UK, I don't know how it is in other countries, but we are experiencing the earliest, like the signs of recession. We're definitely seeing a recession, whilst we've had an increase now, but this often happens just before Christmas time or just before the end of the year, around October, November. We have a little push up in the market where people can make a bit of money so they can spend it again towards the end of the year and such. So it's very common that these sort of things happen. Another thing is that the space itself is still quite young, and so are the people in the space. So you get a lot of youngsters coming in, and they're coming in and they're trying to be like the big founders. They're seeing all these great stories online, like, wow, this guy raised 70 million for his project, and I want to do that, and I can do that. And I think that there's a bit of a miscommunication area and a bit of an education area. The internet has exposed us to so much that we kind of think it's realer than it actually is, when actually most of the best businesses and the best ideas have usually come to people when they're in their 40s or even 50s. It's after they've already had a career, already they've kind of gone through the notions, like Hassam said about having more mature people in the space. I think that's excellent, of course. But older guys tend to not waste their time educating and tutoring and mentoring younger guys. So we're still going through all those motions in the space. So I would say, in order to kind of make the most out of this, is to stick to the basics, get the fundamentals done right, take it step by step, and stop trying to jump yourself up. Some people like to think that they can just go from like zero to hero and they could do it overnight, and not realize that it is a process. Is that when you're hiring somebody for a position, you're not hiring them for their time, you're hiring them for all the years they've spent so that they can actually give you the right value in that time. So yeah, make sure you're focusing on the basics, make sure you've got your ducks in a row, and you're lean. And one thing is just finally, it's about leaning into your strengths. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. And in this space, it's now as obviously, like Ken has said, liquidity and investments in the markets and in the systems and in people's projects are starting to dry up a little bit. It's very natural, it's expected, it's part of the process. Learn how to build without money. Learn how to live life without money as a motivator. And then you'll create some of the best products and the best ideas when you've got nothing left but your mind and your soul, and that's all you've got, and that's all you can provide in this world. So yeah, that's what I would say on that, and how to kind of get through this time.
Thank you, Andy. Very inspiring. Yeah, just build without money. Kenneth, that?
For me, they already mentioned everything, and I don't want to add, but I just give a good, as an advisor and marketing consultant, most questions if they're raising funds is the product, of course, if what would be the stage, some other details, if that kind of products can solve millions of problems, and who will be the team, like, even if the team is your friend, please don't do like a no bias. And then if the founder, not just what's the background of the founder, what will be the previous, and what happened to those previous company that he worked with, and not just for tokenomics, but also their brand presence, their brand awareness, how they can driven their community, because as far as I know, like there are lots of projects right now. It's like they want to hit like 1 million, 2 million. We want to raise like this kind, like this, like that. But do you have a budget for this? It's like we are just doing successful fees, so it's very difficult. That if again you give the trust to someone, and then you just because if let's say, because this is already happened previously for me, that we raise funds like $16 million to one project, and then because we are the one who raised funds for them, and this team already gone and they rug pulled the projects, and most of the investors got angry because of us, because they trusted us, not to them. We provide those kind of services, but thank God that it's already solved. So we already fixed. So we need to be careful and be mindful when it comes in investing for something. Before it's like, do your own research. No, not just do your own research. It's supposed to be, you need to become wise for making decision and making research for those projects, that is because some they just taking advantage of what sometimes taking advantage about the influencers, those KOLs, those medias, that they can pay it. Yeah, as what Andy said, you can build without money. Yeah.
Yes, thank you guys for these answers. I also have some question for you. I wanted to ask about mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. Like, what do you think, how is the trends towards mass adoption of cryptocurrencies expected to shape the market in 2023? And Haysam, you can start.
Mass adoption, I think the way or the path to mass adoption, and I'm sure you're gonna agree with me, Andy and Ken, from your expertise as well. Number one, it will be education and awareness. I think we are lacking that big time everywhere, not only here in the Middle East, same in Europe, a lot in the States, everywhere, and it's across different generation. I think of course within Gen Z is much easier, of course, because they are the core community of the crypto and young millennials. But I think the decision makers of the mass adoption, they are not from Gen Z and young millennials, maybe a little bit of senior millennials, but unfortunately the decision makers, the one who have the money, the one who gonna say yes or no, who gonna turn on or off the flood of the money, are Gen X and the boomers, right? So we have to educate them. We have to bring everyone on board in the same room. What I see as a challenge personally, and I'm talking about what's happening here because I meet a lot of regulators here. In Dubai, the regulation is quite advanced between Abu Dhabi, between Dubai, and also in Riyadh is coming, and other countries. I feel like everybody works in silos. I feel like the regulators, they work in silos, and a lot of them coming from traditional banking, finance, compliance, and legal, and they put them as a frontier to regulate crypto. That's a big shock already. Okay. And then you have the industry working silos, people who are building and trying to do their best, but one vertical of the builders, which is the startups. And then you have the large corporation and the banking sector and the government agencies that work as well in silos. And I think we need to reach the point where we need to all gather in one room, bringing different generation in one room. We cannot let the regulators coming from the legacy model, building something extremely futuristic, very technical, very complicated. We cannot get the startup work on their own and build it, because eventually, yes, Andy, I agree with you, you need to continue building even without money. But at the end, you are a human being, man. We get tired, we get frustrated, we get drained, we have bills to pay, we need food to eat, we have kids to put in the school, we have, Dubai is a very expensive city. We cannot just keep doing that for free forever. No, we cannot, So we have to go and talk to investors and educate them, and we have to work with larger corporations and maybe collaborate with them and bring our expertise from Andy and Malika and Andy. Guys, we can help you. We can bring you to Web3, but give us the chance, but pay us, when we transfer this knowledge and know-how. So I think that eventually will lead into mass adoption. Will it be fast? No. Will it be easy? No. I think we are far from mass adoption. We are not there yet because there's still some restrictions on the tech side, but the tech is evolving. I think Ken mentioned that in previously, like at the layer 0, layer 1, or layer 2, we still have big challenge into the blockchain interoperability. A lot of companies are putting money in R&D to fix it. That we still have a lot of problem in the cybersecurity, in the Web3 and the blockchain and the smart contract. So we neither the technology is ready for mass adoption, neither the regulator, neither the community, neither the different generations. So, but the way to do that, education, awareness, and collaboration between all of that. That's the way how I see it.
All right, Haysam, thank you.